Hey friends, we are back in Westcliff after 5 whole months of traveling this winter in our RV, which we're still in.
Yep.
Very exciting. It's also super windy today. You might be able to hear it in the background. And that's one reason why we are doing some inside work, doing our little wrap-up video, talking about our RV travels, what we learned, spilling all the details on what it costs to actually travel full-time for 5 months.
I'll just go straight to the ending. Cost your soul.
Your soul. It is not as cheap as we thought. That is for sure.
Oh no, it's not about fiscally, it's your soul.
It's also important for your soul. Yeah. Today we're going to talk about a couple things that people have asked us about, including how much it costs to actually travel full-time, the destinations that we chose, like where you choose to stay over the winter, how much it costs to stay in each place in an RV park for a month at a time, how much we spent on doing the fun things that you guys have seen us do in our videos and on Instagram, and if we're going to do it again.
If we do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first we're going to talk about how much money we spent on gas during our travels. So as we break this up on the screen here, you'll see it broken down by destination. So the gas totals for each destination are to get to that destination and how much we also spent on gas while we were there. We spent a lot of money getting to Tulsa. That was a big one that stood out. And also while we were there, because our RV park location was not as close to family and friends that we were visiting. So that's a little different for that one. And it also took a lot of gas to get to Vegas as well.
And we also drive a Ram 2500,
which
and that's
is
our
not
only
known,
vehicle.
Not known for its fuel efficiency.
No. When we're towing, what? I don't even look how much miles per gallon anymore. I just fill up. I don't even think about that.
I think the only time we ever looked was on the first leg of our trip when we left Tampa. And
we left Tampa, yeah.
I think we were getting 5.
Oh, I thought we were getting 8.
6. Wow. 6.5 miles to the gallon is what we're averaging.
6.6.
6.
It's not very good.
Not very
And we're
good.
towing, this trailer weighs about 8,000 pounds.
Right.
The truck weighs about 7,000 pounds.
Yes.
Jazz weighs about 20,000 pounds.
Jazz is so heavy and she's
Yeah.
ruining our fuel efficiency. We spent a lot of on gas, but gas prices have also been pretty high as well over the winter.
And also for truck people, we drive a Hemi, not a diesel.
Right.
So take that as you may.
So that was one thing we spent a lot of money on while we were traveling. But if you were trying to do this as inexpensively as possible and you still needed to change locations instead of just staying in one spot for the entire winter season, you could always pick cities or places that are closer together. Obviously, we chose some places that were pretty far, going from Durango to Tulsa to Heber City to Vegas to here. So.
And if you follow this channel, you know why we went to Tulsa. If you don't, we weren't planning to go to Tulsa. Actually, we were going to go to Santa Fe, so that would have been a bit cheaper.
Yes, we would have spent less on gas.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question we get is, how expensive is it to stay in places for about a month at a time when you're traveling full time? So for us, we chose to stay in each place for a month because we were able to get monthly discount rates at the RV parks we stayed at, which was really cool because a lot of places it was actually like 50% off. And we also chose some places for skiing and snowboarding access that were much less busy in the winter than they would be in the summer. So we were able to get discounts there too.
Yeah. And some of them had some awesome amenities. The cheaper ones usually did not.
We'd say that's more of an RV park than an RV resort, for sure.
Yeah.
You can tell that with the numbers on screen, we spent the least amount in Tulsa, and that was...
Even if you go to the park, then you'll see why.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's just a place to park. It was just a place to park.
Yeah, for us.
But Heber City was the most expensive, and that was like a resort.
Yeah, you could throw a rock at the hot tub that we'd go to.
Yeah.
And they had a decent gym.
Yeah,
You know,
they had a
it's
fitness
right
center.
there, and they were on top of the snow plowing all the time, and it was a safe place too, so it was fun.
Yeah. We definitely had like a whole range of places that we stayed at, from really inexpensive to pretty high end without being like super high end. We're not talking about those fancy like Class A motor coach resorts that are like $3,000 a month. We did not do that.
They do exist.
And they exist.
That's one reason we didn't go to Phoenix.
And another thing to keep in mind is we booked this trip very last minute. We booked everything in November as we were leaving pretty much and on the road. So if we had planned maybe like in the summer or a few months in advance, we probably could have scoped out better resorts for cheaper prices, whatever combination you're looking for. We just had less availability for what we needed.
If you do this, which we ran into a lot of people who do,
Yeah.
every winter, they plan it out basically 6 months
Yes.
plus out. As soon as the resort or the place they want to stay is available, they'll book it out.
So speaking of how much it costs to stay somewhere for a month, we're also going to talk about how much we spent on propane and electricity, basically what it takes to keep our rig warm in the winter. Kona is here bothering everyone. Hi, Kona. So you can see on the screen, it ranged wildly. When we were in Heber City, we had no idea that we were going to spend over $300 essentially on propane and electricity. One, because we were running the fireplace and 2 space heaters pretty much for an entire month straight.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
Very cold there.
It was very cold.
But the RV was very comfortable.
Yes. So we're not mad about that.
Yeah.
We have to hold Kona so she stops barking. It's a very casual chat. Aside from Heber City, though, actually, it was pretty affordable to keep everything running. We actually didn't really take advantage of our fireplace until Durango, I feel like. In Taos, we were still using the propane and running our furnace a lot. And once we realized, our electric fireplace can really keep things pretty toasty for the most part, unless it's really cold.
Yeah.
We started using that. It's just more convenient to pay the electric rate when you leave somewhere than it is to go and get your propane filled.
Yeah.
So
it was a
we used
convenience
that.
thing.
Yeah. So all in all, it's not too bad. You can kind of decide if you want to do propane or electricity when it comes to heating your rig. Some of the resorts would fill your tanks for you.
That was really convenient.
Yeah, in Durango, we just go to the front desk and let them know we need a fill up. And then in Heber City, right?
Yeah, you basically just take it off and put it in front of your rig and call them like, hey, we got a propane tank to fill. And they're like, all right, cool. And within an hour or two, maybe they'll just go fill it for you.
And it really wasn't that much more expensive than taking it somewhere to be filled. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
If you're going somewhere cold and want the convenience of that, definitely see if your resort will do it, because it was really nice. I like that.
Yeah. And if you don't like the cold, I just don't.
Just don't go.
Don't be in an RV.
The last bit that we're going to share from our budget is the discretionary funds that we spent on fun stuff at each place that we were at. And it's a little arbitrary because we spent a lot of money in Taos, but it was also Christmas and Black Friday, so we're kind of shopping for a lot of other people. Spent money on getting winter clothes and preparing for colder weather.
Yeah.
Coming from Florida, we really didn't have that.
I had no winter clothes.
No winter clothes.
Everything I have is all beat up already, but it's all new.
Yeah, but really our biggest expense was restaurants.
Restaurants.
Definitely. That's one reason why we wanted to travel in the first place.
We're foodies, man. We're foodies, and we live in the middle of nowhere, so it's like when we go, I told Chelsea, when we go out, treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
You gotta treat yourself. So spas, we went to we tried to go to spa almost everywhere we went. We didn't. Sometimes we went to hot spring twice or 3 times in a place.
And then some other fun things that we did were the dog sledding, which was, a little bit of a pricey experience, but totally worth it.
Totally worth it. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go over once a month or anything like that. But
no, but super cool.
Yeah.
Great way to get outside, in the winter too. We did the green tea ceremony.
That was awesome.
The hot springs you mentioned. We did a couple fancy meals in Vegas. And honestly, I think the cheapest place that we didn't really do anything was Heber City. So
yeah, we really didn't. We said we were going to go to Park City. It's nearby. We went to one of our favorite places for brunch called 5 Seed. Highly recommend if you're in that area to go there.
But we did a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Across all 5 months, and some things we just some ski resorts, Purgatory was included with our season ski pass. So that was one of my favorite things that we did.
Purgatory is definitely one of my favorite parks.
Yeah, top.
Ski resorts that we went to.
Yeah, but that was free for us basically.
Yeah.
So
I think we get 3 days free.
And the last thing we'll just touch on really quickly is what it costs to prepare our RV to be winterized. I don't know what the verb tense is for that, but we basically didn't do anything to our RV while we were in Westcliff. We talked about different ways to prepare to spend the winter here, but once it became clear that we were going to travel instead, we shifted gears a little bit. One of the things Brian did pretty much as soon as we left was he ordered some flexible skirting. So instead of using like rigid foam to, I don't know, sometimes you see it in RV parks, people use like the foam blocks and duct tape to like put it together.
Which is really good if you were going to stay in one spot, if you weren't going to move.
Super
and you can
cheap.
still pack it up and throw it in your truck bed. It's just kind of inconvenient to do it like that over our trip.
For as often as we moved.
Yeah, because we were moving pretty often.
And then we had to get some other tools and things to help winterize as well, including heated hoses. Did we get anything for the black tank?
So the skirting helped with that. We threw the skirting actually recommended throwing like a space heater under there.
Oh yeah,
which
that's right.
Some people would argue that's not safe, blah blah blah. Whatever you want to say, whatever, it worked for us.
But the skirting worked while we were traveling.
Yeah.
It was really nice in Durango because we dealt with some very cold temperatures there, and in Heber City as well.
And when you take it down, you just roll it up, throw it in our bag, and throw it in the bed truck. When you arrive, pull it out. I mean, the first day I put it up, just to set up took me a couple hours, but now, if I'm on top of it, I mean, by myself, I can do it in like 30-40 minutes. With Chelsea, it's even faster just to put it up. So
super convenient.
It's pretty convenient. To wrap it up, would Chelsea and I do this again? I think I would say if we really were planning to do this, it's like, hey, next winter let's do this or something. I kind of visualize us, say we have a house just like a normal person.
Like a normal person.
A normal person, not a homeless person like us, but I'm just kidding.
Houseless.
So if we were just living life, whatever, and then we're like, hey, let's go do something trip. I think like for me, I personally would say like a month at a time. Chelsea and I are both homebodies when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Or if I were to, I'm like, I want to be in Santa Fe for the winter. I'll just stay there for like several months. I'll just do several months. Maybe move one other place. But moving month to month, it was very draining, especially whenever we knew we had to go further away. It's just like, oh man, it's 1,000 miles, so I'm not going to drive 1,000 miles towing in a day. You're going to break that up into maybe like three drives.
It took 3 drives to get from Vegas to here, and it's like 940 miles.
Yeah.
So
it gets tiring.
Very tiring.
Overall, we took this trip, and it was necessary for us to go. Trust me. We knew it was going to be windy. We did not expect it to be windy in the winter, so we really didn't want to do wind and cold while we're building. I personally think I probably would have started, and I just would have been too stressed out because I was pretty stressed out already. I definitely feel more prepared to do this now.
If you have any other questions about our travels, put them in the comments below.
Yeah.
If not, we're basically about to get started on some building.
Yeah, we have a couple more things we have to prepare here on the land for Chelsea's family's visiting.
That's the big news.
Yeah,
big
it's
news.
Huge. So we got to prepare for that. We also need to make sure things are a little bit more safe for us to stay in the RV because we just had about everything ready, but the fresh water we're still using the cistern system and
still waiting on our well. But in the meantime, we will get started building our house. So expect to see exciting building content, what you all have been waiting for.
I've been
very
waiting for it.
soon. We've been waiting
for years.
We want the building content.
Years and billions and
billions and billions and billions. How many cameras can we put in the dog's face then? All right, everyone, that's a wrap. Good job. Dogs, you interrupted everything. Made it take 4 times as long as it needed.
To a gentleman. This whole thing's shaking.
Oh my gosh.
What's the gust at? That's the wind. We live in a dumpster.
We live in a dumpster on wheels. And trying to lift things and build things and getting blown away. But other than that, it's fine.